Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the 2014 Tri-M Inductions ceremony. At this time, I am going to pass it over to the president. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm taking this. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to this important occasion. Today, we will formally induct a number of students who have met the necessary Tri-M criteria and have accepted invitations to become active members of the Tri-M Music Honor Society. We will also recognize the continuing members of our chapter and our graduating members as alumni at this time. I would now like to install the new Tri-M leadership and board members. They will pass. The old members will stand and pass their chair to the new members, and then we will continue with the induction of our brand new class. Our new sitting board is going to include our president, Sean Titus, our Vice President, Linda Liu, our Secretary, Morgan Slutsky, our Treasurer, Matt McCormack, and our Historian, Caroline Dapprich. I'm now going to pass it over to the new president, Sean Titus, to continue the induction ceremony.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. I actually would now like to ask Matt McCormack, our chapter treasurer, to present the candidates for student membership.
These music students have been carefully selected on the basis of scholarship, character, leadership, and service. Scholarship represents scholastic achievement and open-mindedness towards knowledge and truth. Character emphasizes a devotion to high ideals and recognizes no barriers between people of diverse backgrounds. Leadership guides us to greater undertakings, and service encourages assistance and kindness to others.
We will now describe the meaning of the name Tri-M for the candidates for student membership. The name Tri-M was derived from the original name of our honor society, Modern Music Masters. The vice president and secretary will speak of the first letter M, which signifies modern.
That which is new in any age is called modern. It is only in looking back that descriptions such as old, classical, or romantic are given to those art forms that had formerly been accepted as modern.
Let us remember that we should study the past to effectively plan our future. This is a youth organization, and with each succeeding year, its membership will be made up of young people such as you. Therefore, our honor society will never grow old, but will be eternally modern.
The second letter M signifies music. The treasurer and historian will explain this second symbol.
According to the Random House Dictionary of the English Language, music is the art of sound that expresses ideas and emotions in significant forms through the elements of rhythm, melody, harmony, and color.
Music was present even before there was written language, and from that time to the present, it has been a source of communication. Music is the universal language.
The third letter M signifies masters. In an art field, the custom has been to give the title of master to those who have achieved a high degree of proficiency. You have met the criteria as a Tri-M candidate for student membership. As masters, you will have increased your opportunities to serve your school and community. A member of the Tri-M Music Honor Society is one who sets a good example. is always willing to assist those students who are striving to better themselves in the music department and always remembers that real honor brings responsibility. May you accept this honor of membership and the responsibility that is now vested in you. Treasurer, please explain the meaning of the Tri-Am membership emblem.
The Tri-Am emblem was designed to symbolize the function and purpose of the Honor Society. The music staff, the lyre, and the scroll represent the members' proficiency and service in the field of music. The triplet figure in the form of an M symbolizes the three M's in the name Modern Music Masters, from which the Society's name was derived.
Will all the candidates for student membership please rise and repeat the pledge to show your willingness to carry out the principles of the Tri-Am Music Honor Society? We, the members of the Lawerence High School Music Department, in order to foster a greater interest and a desire for excellence in music performance, to encourage appreciation and awareness in listening to music, to promote wider opportunities for sharing joy through music, both within our school and within our community, to advance the spirit of good music and musical knowledge, and to enhance the reputation of our school as the Center for Musical Enrichment, accept the honor now granted to us. It is my pleasure to present each of you with your Tri-Am membership. Secretary.
The following candidates for student membership have qualified to become new members of the Tri-Am Music Honor Society.
As I call your name, please come over, and you're going to be officially inducted by myself, Mr. Fillmore, and our president will shake your hand, and then you can make your way back to your seat. Okay? Francesca Arnetta. Andrew Becker. Clara Baines. Zachary Chang. Sorry, David Connolly is next on the list. Devlin Bismira Kandasamy. Alex Lavelle. Roderick Mancha. Christopher Mangajas. Brian Mark. Chi Nwachuku. Liz Park. Dominique Peters. Kevin Quiss. Stephanie Hernandez Mendez. Shawani Ragasamy. Pranav Sabiyanagam. Naharika Sahi. Abigail Scardelletti. Emily Tino. Sophie Webster. Allison Wengler. And Grace Sue.
I now officially congratulate you and welcome you as new members of Chapter 4258 of the Triumph Music Honor Society. May you remember this occasion and strive to live up to the aims and ideals of this organization. I now ask our chapter advisor to come forward.
It is a pleasure to read the congratulatory message from the Tri-Am Music Honor Society National Leadership to the new members of Chapter 4258. Dear inductees, congratulations on your induction into the Tri-Am Music Honor Society. Your nomination for membership is based on your membership, academic qualification, and demonstrated leadership. You may take great pride in this achievement, which unites you with thousands of other student members throughout the world. As you were instructed during the presentation ceremony, we should study the past to effectively prepare for our future. With that thought in mind, you are now in the unique position of being able to pass on the torch of your musical knowledge to colleagues and future beneficiaries of musical arts. May you wear your Tri-M pin with pride and dignity as you continue to demonstrate the value of music in your life and share your gift with your school, community, and other students. Welcome to the Tri-M family. At this time, the continuing members of Tri-M Chapter 4258 will be recognized for their dedicated service and for upholding the standards and ideals of the Tri-M Music Honor Society. We will now present those members.
The following students will continue their membership in the Tri-M Music Honor Society and will remain distinguished members of Chapter 4258. As your name is read, please rise. Caroline Dapprich. Nate Lecomte. Linda Liu. Matthew McCormack. Matthew Molineros. Monica Naropan. Sarah Rosenell. Sujay Shetty. Sam Snyder. Sean Titus.
That concludes our Tri-M induction ceremony for the evening. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this evening, and one more round of applause, please, for our new members. What I'd like to do right now is ask our new members to go ahead and take a seat in the audience. And we'll move on to the second half of our program, which is senior recognition. So just give us one moment to kind of switch over to that. We're going to move into the pit. Mr. Fillmore and I are going to present plaques and the senior packets, which will contain all of their Tri-M alumni information, their cords for graduation, and some other things from Mr. Fillmore and I. All right. What I'd like to do is, if there is a senior here, what we're going to do is we're going to call your name first, and then if you could stand and head on down so that we know you're here, we'll go on with the presentation of your particular packet. If not, we'll move on to the next senior in line. So first, I would like to invite down Jennifer Dwyer. Jenny has been a very dedicated member of the music department here at LHS for all 4 years. I've only known all of them for 2 years, but she's been a very dedicated member. She was in the concert band last year, and this year she her schedule conflicted with concert band, so she wanted to stay within the music department, so she joined the orchestra class and was a part of that class for the duration of the year. So she's been in the pit orchestra. She's just a really incredible person and musician, so thank you, Jimmy. Garrett Falk. Garrett, I've also known for 2 years now, but I had him when he was in middle school. I had the pleasure of knowing him back when he was probably just a little bit taller than I am, instead of a lot taller than I am. But he's a very, very talented musician, an incredible person. We had a lot of conversations this year about all of the colleges that he was applying to, and it just, every time he mentioned something else that he was doing, I was just, how do you have time for this? How do you have time for this? But he's been in jazz band, he's been in Red Scare. Again, his schedule conflicted this year, so he was put in the orchestra class instead of in concert band, but he learned the concert band music anyway, and I just can't speak enough about him, so thank you, Garrett.
Is Jason Bembry here this evening? Jason has been singing in the choral program with me for 6 years, 2 years in the middle school as one of the most enthusiastic members. He's been 4 years in our madrigal choir, which is no small feat. It's very rare to have freshmen join that choir. He's been an outstanding pianist and accompanist for us. He's a brilliant concert pianist. Thank you, Jason. Is Cassandra Bentavenia here this evening? Madeline Curtin. Madeline, I believe, is the only other student other than Jason who has been 6 years in the choral program with me. Again, a very enthusiastic singer in 7th and 8th grade. 1 year in ensemble and then 3 years in madrigal. Yeah. Outstanding singer, brilliant musician, great leader. I'm gonna miss you.
Sid Jane. Sid is yet another student that does just about as much as he possibly can here at the high school. He's in jazz band, he's in Red Scare, he's in, actually once again, the orchestra. We had a lot of seniors' schedules conflict with concert band this year, so Sid was in the orchestra, but he learned that, again, the concert band music and performed with the concert band at the concert. He's just a very well-spoken, very well-rounded individual. And this year, if I'm not mistaken, he is participating in the Eastern Wind Symphony Youth Group, which is a auditioned youth band in the area. And they put on 2 concerts this year, right? There's going to be three concerts this year. The third one, I believe, is coming up on Saturday, which will be right here in Princeton at Richardson Auditorium. So congratulations, Sid. Thank you. Is Nicholas McNeil here? He is. Nick, once again, we have so many students that are just so well-rounded and try to do everything. I know Nick has been in Red Scare. He wasn't this past year, but he has been in Red Scare. He was in jazz band this year. He played first alto. And I know he's involved in DECA and involved in so many other things. I see him around the school constantly doing all sorts of stuff. I, again, had the pleasure of knowing him in 8th grade when he was actually shorter than I was, I think. And now, as is the case with all my students, taller than I am. So I just want to say that you've really grown up a lot, and I appreciate your devotion to this ensemble, so thank you.
Is Casey Gladwell here this evening? Haley Gronenthal? If memory serves, and it may not because it was a long time ago, I believe Haley started singing with me in her 8th grade year, so almost the full 6. But she's been an outstanding member of the choral program since the first day she was here. She's been our Triumph president this past year. Again, excellent leader, excellent person, wonderful musician. Thank you, Hayden. It's Noah Holtz here this evening. I didn't know Noah in middle school, but he joined as a freshman in his first year here at Lawerence. He was part of the choir his first year and then madrigal for 3. Outstanding young tenor, wonderful voice, great singer. Thank you, Noah.
I'm going to have to call the next 2 students up at the same time because there is not one without the other. So can I have Priscilla Bostock and Brianne Krzeski up here, please? These 2 fine young ladies sit next to each other in orchestra, and Priscilla is actually in Red Scare, so I do see her without Brianne sometimes, but it's few and far between. These 2 are quite the pair. We have a very interesting, sarcastic, back and forth relationship where they annoy me to the point where I'm done with it, and then I throw it back at them, and then they get all afraid and run away. And then the cycle repeats the next day. So, but whether you think I'm mad or know that I'm not, you guys always make me laugh, and you bring a smile to my day. You know, whether I'm frustrated with one thing or another or happy in general, it's always exciting to see you 2 bounce into the room and yell my name from across the hall. So thank you for keeping my day interesting and for just being happy and smiles all the time, because sometimes we need it. So thank you, guys. Is Kayla Aguilar here? No, okay. All right, let's see. The next 2 students I'm also going to have to call up in a pair. I believe they're both here. Are Stephanie and Marlena both here? Just Marlena? Oh, it's the one time. Okay, that's all right. I'll give this to Stephanie tomorrow. Once again, Stephanie and Marlena, this is Marlena, this is not Stephanie. Marlena has been another one of those students that just walks into the class smiling every day. And it's a real pleasure to work with students like that consistently on a day-to-day basis. She's always excited about what we're doing, and she's always very positive about what we do in class, and it's just a pleasure to work with people like you on a consistent daily basis, and to have Priscilla and Brianne on one side of the podium and you on the other, I thank you. So.
I'm not sure if I have any other of my seniors here, but I would at least want to call their names so they can be recognized, but I won't talk about them while they're not present. Is Maya Ball here? Emily Dawson? Jessica Morales, Danielle Thompson, and Tua Woodson. Give it back to Mr. Vadrone so we can keep things moving for a bit.
Is Daniel Green here? Dan was, I feel like I just got to know Dan really, really well this year because I didn't see him a whole lot last year. And this past year, he stepped it up with Red Scare. He was a really incredible role model, I think, for the group. He had a solo in the show this past year. He's an excellent trumpet player. Once again, very involved, Red Scare, concert band, although conflict again, so he was in the percussion class. But he still learned all of the music for the show, for the performance that we had last week, and just a real pleasure and talent to work with. So thank you, Dan. Is Matadi Belev here? Matadi, in class, I don't really hear talk all that much, but I can always tell when he's playing because the saxophone part is always right. He's a really, really phenomenal saxophone player and an incredibly intelligent human being. You're going to Princeton next year, right? Princeton next year, #1 in the class, so. Seeing students like you throughout the year on a day-to-day basis, and while we never get a chance to talk too much, it seems, hearing you play and hearing the devotion that you have to learning in general is one of the most refreshing things that I can be around as an educator. And we have had a couple of very intellectual conversations, and I have relished those and remembered them. And I stood there thinking, future. And it really makes me feel good. So congratulations and thank you. Is Evan Berman here? James Cribb. Luke Getz. Justin Shea. Let's switch over. Chelsea Garvey. Catriona Gow. Very similar to Brianne and Priscilla, Catriona relishes in trying to aggravate me and boil whatever water I have left in me by the time 4th period rolls around. But while she's doing it, she's always doing it with a smile on her face, and you can always tell behind whatever silly question she's asking that she just wants to be there and talk and participate in what's going on. She's a really great violin player. She was in the front row last year, and this year she decided to sit in the back, which I was a little disappointed about, but she doesn't have Natasha anymore. We'll get to Natasha in a minute. It's okay. But thank you for sticking it out in orchestra, and it was just a pleasure to be with you this past year. Mecca Galat. Stephen Kim. Oh, was that funny? Let's see. Gabrielle. Gabby. Hi. Gabby and Natasha got to sit together this year, which I thought was just the perfect match. Both of you are just terrific young women, and I've really heard your violin playing blossom this year, and I think that your talent is just going to continue to grow. You started off really great, but this past year especially, I've seen you grow as not only a violin player, but an individual, and I think that you've got just the brightest future ahead of you. So thank you for allowing me to have a part in that, and good luck.
Again, I'm not sure if these students are here, but I would like to at least have them recognized from my final class. Joanna Achinfo-Yaboa, Shelley Burston, Rachel Fury, Tamenta Harris, and Katie Machetta.
Cassie Niskern. Cassie is one of those, I have so many talented students, it's hard to, I sound like a broken record when I keep describing them. So talented, multi-talented, but this one really is. She plays cello in the orchestra. She also plays trombone in the concert band. She was in both my classes this year, so I got to see her twice a day, which was really exciting for me because just having such a talented musician in the group that I get to see multiple times a day, it's just a real pleasure. She was in Red Scare and just really a wonderful person to sit and talk to, very down to earth, and we have a lot of the same interests, which I was always really thankful for. So thank you for just being there as often as you were in my day, and good luck. Did Sammy Parody make it? I know she's visiting a college today. She wasn't sure if she was going to make it back. Is James Toole here? Marcus Van Diver? Joseph Carpinelli, sorry. I'm really tongue-tied tonight. I would say I probably had about half of these seniors when they were in 8th grade, because I was at the middle school very briefly at that time. But in 8th grade, Joey stood out as a really incredible trumpet player and musician and person in general. And that stayed true and grew as he got to the high school. And having him last year and this year in the concert band, the trumpet section was one of the sections I never really had to worry about, mostly because all I could hear was Joey. He's a really fantastic musician, and his sound pokes right through the ensemble, and it's really a pleasure to just stand and listen to and be able to conduct and work with on a day-to-day basis. Again, extremely active in the school, involved in so many things. So Joey, I know you're going to be off to do great things, so thank you and congratulations. Is Liana Conception here? Khalil Jackson? Is Elizabeth Martin here? No? Cullen McCormick? No. Andrew Moldoff? All right. Another one of my really talented trumpet players, in combination with Joey and a handful of others. Again, never had to worry about the trumpet section. Andrew, very active in the music department, concert band, he was in jazz band, he was in Red Scare. Really, really great person. I know he was heavily involved in the Scouts as well, outside, which is very prevalent in how he handles himself in school. Terrific person, and again, I know you're going to go off and do terrific things, so thank you. Jaquay Coates. Okay. Peter Sino. Peter's another very active student here in the music department. He's been in the percussion class all 4 years. Red Scare, he did jazz band. Peter's a really terrific drummer. In class, I can always count on Peter to be the one to fix a problem. Peter, go teach them how to do this. Peter, go teach them how to do that. If you were at the concert this past week, he was the snare drummer who led the percussion ensemble through their entire set. I walked away. I gave him and them the stage and let them go. And it's because I know I can count on him. We never had to have the conversation of, okay, Peter, you're going to do this and I need you to do it this way. It happened in one statement in class, like a couple of days before the concert. I was like, all right, Peter, you got the tap off? Great. And I walked out, and they ran rehearsal for the next 20 minutes. He's just one of those people that you can count on for things like that. So thank you for your performance and your ability to control that class especially. Is Francis DeVirtual here? Kyle Breaker? Aaron Dindinger? Last but not least, Natasha Vargas. Natasha was our concertmaster in the orchestra this past year, which is a fancy way of saying first violin. But she got the pleasure to walk out on stage and tune the orchestra at the beginning of every concert, which she was a little surprised about when I told her she had to do at the beginning of last year. But she did it, and the way that she carries herself is very graceful. She's, again, another incredibly multi-talented student. She went on to do the National Poetry Out Loud competition and placed 3rd in the country. So congratulations. She's just a phenomenal violin player. I love to just sit at the piano, which happens to be right next to where she sits in the orchestra, and listen to her practice before and after class, because she's always there as soon as she can get there, has her instrument out first, and is working on whatever is going to be happening that day. So thank you so much. And oh yeah.
Being multi-talented, we've heard about all of this. She's also a singer. She was in the middle school chorus, one of the best singers, and sadly, she concentrated on the violin, and I only saw her during the musical season when she was always one of our leading performers, but I did finally, it was worth the wait. She came back senior year and joined our madrigal choir.
I'm sorry, I almost forgot that she was one of yours too. Her bag is especially heavy because of that. Anyway, we both thank you so much, and good luck. Okay, that concludes the general senior recognition. We just have a couple of plaque awards for specific individuals that we would like to hand out. These students have presented themselves exceptionally in the particular field that they're going to be recognized in, and their names are imprinted on the plaques and will remain there on the wall in our choir room or concert or instrumental room for the foreseeable future. So I'm going to start this with the choral award.
So we have 2 recipients of the award this year, both for similar and different reasons at the same time. Both of them are exceptional leaders and have been in their entire time. One of them is a little bit more understated in the way he leads. One of them is very overstated in the way she leads, but they work very well together. They get a lot done. I can always rely on days when I'm not available to be there, if I'm out, if I'm on a professional development, whatever. If I can leave instructions for them, I know the 2 of them will get things done. They are Jason Bembry and Madeline Curtin.
I'd like to hand out the Red Scare Award. This is going to go for, I found her. I'll come back to her. She's right there. Oh, she's going to be really embarrassed. Okay. I'd like to hand out the Red Scare Award. This is going to 2 individuals who carried themselves over the course of the entire season with honor and distinction. They were both in leadership roles this past year, one a captain, one a leader in the ensemble, and I could count on both of them all the time to assist in whatever was happening at any given moment, even if it meant plans had to change on the fly, which they so often do. So I would like to present this award to Garrett Falk and Peter Sino. Next is the Orchestra Award. This is going to go to 2 students who have been 2 of the best musicians that I've known in a very long time. One of the terrific things about working with high school students is you're working with students who are pretty much at the top of their game before they move on to college. And these 2 students, if they were going to go into music, which I don't expect, but if they were, they would be very, very successful. But I know they will at least be lifelong musicians. So I would like to give the orchestra award to Natasha Vargas and Cassie Nisker. I'm actually going to bring up someone else to present the Jazz Band Award. Miss Rello. Miss Rello is our lead director for the jazz band, and I wouldn't feel right presenting the award in her stead, so I've asked her to come do it tonight.
Okay, so the High School Jazz Band Award. Just to repeat what Mr. Padron's been saying all night, we have so many talented seniors this year. It was a really, really hard decision for me to make. So I went with dedication, because what you might not be aware of is every part in the jazz band is different. Every single instrument's playing their own part and is essential. So when a student is out, the harmony's not there. It doesn't work. As they can all tell you, there's nights that there might be one person missing and it just doesn't work. So I thought about who was dedicated, who's been here, who's really put the time in. And the two gentlemen that I decided on for this year for the plaque are Jaquay Coates and Siddharth Jain. And I don't think that Jaquay's here, so Sid, you get to take a photo all by yourself with this.
The last award I'd like to present is the Concert Band Award. This is going to go to 3 students who have once again carried themselves extremely well, have been very dedicated to the ensemble and the art, have performed with excellence, and are just all around very excellent individuals. And I look forward to staying in contact with in the future. And I would like to present this to Samantha Parody, Matadi Belev, and Jenny Dwyer. And I'm going to ask Sammy to stay up here because she's here now, so I get to give her her little packet. Sammy was one of our leaders in the concert band this year. Even though we don't necessarily have leadership titles in the concert band, she acted as one. She was one of our top clarinet players. I could always count on her to be helping out the people around her and be working with students when they would go off and practice. And the clarinet section was one of the sections that I didn't have to worry about in her class especially. She's an incredible musician, a wonderful person. We talk about a lot, and she was one of the driving forces to get Game of Thrones played at our spring concert. Her and a couple of other people, which I appreciate because it was really an awesome experience. So thank you for inspiring me, and this is for you, so thank you. I'd like to invite the Limbo members up. They're going to be giving out scholarships. All right, Miss Bostock and Statola. They'll be giving out 6 scholarships, 2 to each ensemble, concert band, orchestra, and the choral program, and I'll hand the mic over to them.
Okay. As Mr. Padron just said, we give out scholarships. 6 recommended by the teachers. We give 2 to choral people, 2 to orchestra people, and 2 to band people. And We're Limbo, the music booster organization.
So this is where some of your fundraising goes towards.
That's right. So we have right now, if we could give to Jason Bembry. Come on up. So just call him up. Okay. And Madeline Curtin. Look him over here. And we also have Jacquay Coates, who is not here, right? So we'll just put him there. Garrett Falk. Cassandra Niskern. And Natasha Vargas. Okay. Thank you.
We do have one more thing. Limbo, also known as Lawerence Integrated Music Booster Organization, would like to thank Mr. Fillmore for his many years with our kids. You'll be very, very much missed around here. Besides singing, I know Jim likes to read. He also likes to scuba dive, I've heard. Is that true? Okay. He's very interested in physics, black holes, and the like. So we're giving him a small gift to get some new books and maybe a little Starbucks card if he needs some juice while he's reading or while he's going off and doing his new endeavors. It's been a real pleasure working with you, and Limbo wishes you the best in your future.
Thank you. Congratulations.
All right, that pretty much brings our evening to a close. I just want to let anyone know if there are any underclassmen here, so Tri-M inductees, and anyone else here. We have, Mr. Fillmore and I have made up these certificates of participation for all of the underclassmen in our respective departments. It's a really small token, but we wanted to recognize you individually and give you something to take with you because we know that you're pretty much sacrificing an elective once a year to take either an instrumental course or a choral program course, and it's very difficult these days to continue to schedule courses around us, but we know that you try very hard. So we have these which we can just as easily give out to you. Tomorrow we can't call all 130 of you up, so we will forego that for tonight. But if you would like to take this home this evening, we can give it to you once we break, or we can hand them out tomorrow in class.
Hi guys. So as you now know, Mr. Fillmore is leaving, so he's kind of like a senior with us. We're all graduating together. But we just wanted to give you this as you go. We kind of sang a 20-minute medley at our concert, if you didn't see that. But yeah, Fillmore is really an inspiration to all of us. He's been like one of the best teachers I've ever had. Yeah, I don't so thank you.
Okay. Before we depart for the evening, I just want to say one last thing to all of our departing seniors. For me personally, this has been kind of a whirlwind year. There's been a lot going on. I've been disappointed about seeing you go and excited about all of the new things that will hopefully be happening that you can witness as you look back. But I just wanted you to know that, well, everyone here might or might not know that I'm going to be I'm a father this year. My wife is pregnant. Thank you. I know that some of you have been waiting, so I'll tell you it's a boy. But what I wanted to say and what that statement was about was things have been really crazy and stressful and hectic for me personally, with a lot of things going on revolving around that and other things. And I just wanted to say that teaching and working with students like you and all of the other students here at the high school, the Tri-M inductees and all the other students, make knowing that I'm going to be raising one of you a little bit easier, and because you're all just such wonderful people, and I'm hoping that I can raise my child the same way that your parents have raised you and impart a similar amount of information. So thank you so much, and thank you, the parents who are here to support your children, and myself and Mr. Fillmore and the program. So thank you guys ever so much, and have a lovely evening.